Welcome to this bonus episode of the What We're Watching podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Jenny. And today we're talking about the movie You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah.
We weren't even planning to do an episode on this movie, but we both happened to watch this in the last week and really liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was just so cute and it just came out, so we had to talk about it.
Yeah, and it fits within our back to school theme, so you guys get a little bonus episode this week. So the thing that's cool about this movie that drew me to it is that Adam Sandler's whole family is in it.
Yes.
Is that the same reason you watched it?
I actually just really liked the trailer of it, and then it was like a bonus that it would be Adam Sandler.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not the biggest Adam Sandler fan. I'm not a fan, but I don't really care about his movies very much. I watched some of them growing up. Yeah, I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't feel like I'm a super fan of him, although I am a huge fan of Jennifer Aniston, and she is one of his best friends.
Oh.
And I found out one of his wife's best friends, too.
Cute.
Yeah. And so I've seen a lot of the stuff that they've done together, because they've done a bunch of movies together, like Just Go With It, Murder Mystery 2. So I feel like I've always followed him, but same, not a super fan.
I have heard, though, that he's very nice.
Oh.
Because a lot of stuff films in Georgia near Lake Lanier.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know people who have known people who have run into him while he's done other films there. And they say he's really, really nice.
That's really nice. I feel like you don't always hear that from people that randomly run into celebrities. So
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good to hear. I am a slut for celebrities' personal lives, however. And just to see him act with his two daughters. I actually didn't even know that his wife was in it until after I watched the movie, but his two daughters are the stars along with him, specifically one of them. And that really intrigued me because I hadn't seen them in anything else. So it's not like they were, out in other projects. They were just in this one with him so far. So,
You know what's interesting? As I was looking them up, I think both of them were in Grown Ups.
Yep.
With him and in a bunch of other movies that he's done too. He's had them.
Yeah, I looked at the same thing. They've had a bunch of cameos, and so is his wife in his projects.
Cool.
So this is a new Netflix movie. It's only on Netflix. We are going to be talking all about it. So spoiler alert, pause this, go watch it. It's a great movie, and it's a pretty quick watch.
Yeah, if you want a little throwback to your middle school days and the petty things that you would get upset about, this is a movie for you.
Yeah. And if you haven't, that's okay. We're going to walk all the way through the movie, so we're happy you're here. Here's a quick little 2-sentence synopsis. Stacy and Lydia are BFFs who've always dreamed about having epic bat mitzvahs. However, things start to go comically awry when a popular boy and middle school drama threatens their friendship and their rite of passage. Have you ever been to a bar bat mitzvah?
No, never. Have you?
Okay, yes, I've been to a few. One of my best friends, Abby, is Jewish, and I went to hers, and then I went to a few other friends, and I went to my cousin's.
Oh.
Yeah, so I've been to a handful.
What were they like? Were they like this?
They were not as, bougie as this. I feel like this was, a very extreme example where they are like little weddings, don't get me wrong. You go to a service at a synagogue, and in my experience, not everyone always goes to those. I think it's usually, the family members, obviously the congregation and their Jewish community, and then also close friends. So I went to my cousins and one of my friends, and then I went to a couple of other bat mitzvahs, but I didn't go to the service part. And then everyone will bus or drive or get taken by their parents over to the party, which is sometimes at a restaurant, sometimes at an event venue. There's a DJ, there's a photo booth a lot of times. It's a little mini wedding for middle schoolers. Is the vibe.
I would have loved to go to one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would have liked to have, I think I would have liked to have one, but being the center of attention is always uncomfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have been so fun to go.
Yeah, they were really fun parties. My husband is also Jewish, and I did not go to his bar mitzvah, obviously. I didn't know him yet. But I asked him all about it, kind of what the process is. If you aren't familiar, or if you haven't been to them before, bar and bat mitzvahs. Also, I am not Jewish, so I am not qualified to be explaining this, so just give me some grace here, okay? It is basically the service that you participate in as it's like a ceremonial rite of passage to you becoming an adult in the Jewish faith and community. So in order to be able to be bar bat mitzvahed, you have to go through Sunday school, basically. I think they call it Sunday school, until you're 13, and 13 is when you're bar bat mitzvahed. A lot of this is referenced in the movie, but you speak in front of the like congregation in synagogue on your bar bat mitzvah day. Bar mitzvah is for boys, bat mitzvah is for girls. And you have to read a portion from the Torah in Hebrew. And you know what portion that is, usually way in advance. Because I didn't know this. I didn't grow up Jewish, nor am I now. But I think most Jewish synagogues read through the Torah every year. And so you know, once you know your weekend, which part of the Torah you're going to have to be reading. And that's your section.
I was wondering that when I was watching the movie because they mentioned something like, oh, like, why did I get the June 10th one? Like, why did my parents pick that one that's the hardest one or the longest one or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's just based on around when your birthday is, around when you turn 13. And then it's always, I think, a very similar passage around that time every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
A couple of other fun notes from Brian. One is he wanted me to reiterate how hard it is to learn to read the Torah because
oh my gosh,
there's
I can't
no
imagine.
vowels. Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. And it's in this like kind of sing-songy pattern, which you see in the movie. And I imagine that's probably very hard to nail if you're not used to doing it. So
And it's right to left too, right?
yes. Yeah, so just like lots of practice. Something else that he thought was interesting, and it didn't really occur to me probably because I'm not Jewish, but the representation in the movie like really stood out to him. He brought it up a bunch while we were watching it because they have a really diverse cast in this movie, which is great. But then he was like, it is interesting because in America, largely the Jewish community is white, which is largely because there was such a big exodus from Europe to America. And in the Jewish faith, you don't proselytize. So like people aren't converting a lot. It's like not a super common thing, not as much as you see in Christianity, you know, where I think everyone is kind of encouraged to get everyone around them to join.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just doesn't end up spreading to as many cultures. It stays a little bit more insulated. So it's just something interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was super interesting too. And I mean, there's a lot of like hyphened last names. Would you say hyphened? It's like Rodriguez Katz.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember, but one of the popular girls has like a hyphenated name too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was even
True.
relevant.
No, true. I think that's maybe like how they were trying to tie the diversity in a little bit, because I think this is also supposed to take place in New York, and there is a big Jewish community in New York, so it could just be that like marrying people outside of Judaism, and then you just end up getting a bigger mix of people in the community. That totally makes sense.
In New York versus in Georgia, where Brian grew up.
Exactly, yeah.
Totally. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that was great to know that background.
Yeah, it was fun to have his thoughts kind of during it, because you don't get a lot of movies, especially about Jewish kids, I think. That's like not something that's super common, so it was cool to have a movie centered all around it.
Yeah, I know nothing about bar and bat mitzvahs, so it was great for me to watch it.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, like a lot of movies that we talk about on this podcast, it was actually based on a book by the same name, and the director is Sammy Cohen, who, I didn't know this, but she also directed Crush, which is a Hulu movie that has Rowan Blanchard in it. It's a movie I haven't seen, but it's been on my list to see.
No, I've never seen that.
We should definitely watch it. I think that we would both like it.
Something else I loved about this movie is how like current it felt. Like they really played on what's cool in pop culture right now. Like the girls have posters on their walls about like that have like the Haim sisters and Olivia Rodrigo, and like you could tell in the clothes and the sets too.
Yeah, it felt very authentic to Gen Z, which I think in a lot of shows and movies right now, when they try to portray Gen Z, it just feels like too much, like it's gone overboard. Like I'm thinking of White Lotus. What's her name?
Portia.
Portia's character is just like a little out there. And then there's also this movie, Not Okay, that like really goes too far into like money pieces and the hair and all of that. This was very authentic. And actually, I found out that's because the costume designer, Jordy Scheinberg, sat down with the Sandler girls in their family's backyard to hear their takes on what was cool and what was not cool.
That's so smart, actually.
They had very strong opinions about what their characters would wear. And she said something too that was really funny. Like, they thought band tees are really cool. And then Jordy was like, okay, cool. Like, what bands? And they're like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just bands.
Just a band tee.
Yeah, like they all have like Nirvana tees. And she's like, oh, so you listen to Nirvana? And they're like, no.
Like, that's not the point. The point is the style, not to like say I'm a fan.
Which I am like a huge offender of this. I wear a bunch of band tees that I've never really listened to the music before, or like couldn't even tell you one song. And I think usually women are made fun of for this, or at least in the past they have been. So I love that Gen Z is just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's just a cool t-shirt. Let us live.
Yeah. Also, like, you just know those kids have grown up on sets their whole life. Like, to be able to talk to a costume designer and be like, no, this is cool and that is not cool. Like, to be able to do that, I just would have been so shy in that situation. I would have like, whatever you think.
And the clothes weren't so overboard that like this is going to age poorly in a few years. It's not like so current to the moment. So I like that.
Yeah, it was just cool to see like current references throughout the movie.
Also, my sister is Gen Z, and I will say that her favorite thing to do is wear Converse and dresses. And so I loved seeing that throughout this movie. Like, to her graduation, she wore hot pink Converse. It's just cute.
That is cute. I love that. Okay, so speaking of the Sandler family, his wife, Adam Sandler's wife, Jackie Sandler, plays Lydia's mom.
Why did they do that?
Yeah, that was weird to me because they had Idina Menzel play Adam Sandler's wife.
Yeah.
Which, let's back up for 1 second and just explain the different characters in the movie. So the movie centers around two girls.
Stacy and Lydia.
Stacy is one of Adam Sandler's daughters, and Adam Sandler plays her dad in the movie, and Idina Menzel plays her mom. And then she has a sister who is her real life sister and Adam Sandler's other daughter. Stacy's best friend, Lydia, who the two of them are turning 13. It's their two bat mitzvahs that the movie centers around. Her mom in the movie is played by Adam Sandler's wife in real life, Jackie. So that was interesting that they weren't married in the movie.
Yeah. Idina Menzel did play his wife in Uncut Gems. So, I don't know, it's kind of nice to bring her back for this.
Yeah, and I love her.
Oh, she's so talented.
Something cute about them, Jackie and Adam Sandler, they've been married for 20 years as of like a month ago.
Aw.
Isn't that so cute?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you never hear about like long-term Hollywood families that have kids that are teenagers that haven't like done a lot of work in Hollywood. So it's cool to see. They met on the set of Big Daddy in 1999, and she was actually a model, but now she is an actor also and a producer, and I recognized her. And she also, I read that she converted to Judaism. So their family, I guess, is probably practicing to some level, so it's cool that they all got to make this movie together. Also, fun fact, they got married at Dick Clark's house in Malibu in 2003.
Oh.
Which I don't know what the connection is there, but interesting. And then they had their oldest daughter, who plays the oldest daughter in the movie Sadie, in 2006, 3 years later. So that makes her how old?
She's 17 right now, so 16 probably when the movie was filmed.
Yeah.
And then Sunny, the youngest daughter, is 14 now.
She's only 14.
Isn't that wild? Like, she was actually probably, yeah, she was 13 when they were filming this movie. She was actually an actress who was cast at the right age. Although I say she was cast and, you know, like, when it's a nepo baby situation, can you really say cast?
Right.
It's not like she auditioned. Maybe she did, but doubt.
Doubt it. Anyway, yeah, I just read a lot of really cute things about their relationship. Like, I could not find anything dramatic. Like, all of their, at least public statements about each other here and there, like their birthday posts and anniversary posts are really cute. She actually is the one who pushed him to take the role in Uncut Gems because he was super nervous about it, and she said that he would do a good job. And they both, I learned, are really good friends with Jennifer Aniston.
That's so cute. I love that.
And I learned they send Jen flowers every Mother's Day, I guess because she's like an honorary mom to their kids.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And they're like, I think both of them call her their best friend. So, yeah.
That's goals, honestly. Mom goals. I think there's been some discourse or criticism online that this is just like a big nepo baby movie. How do you feel about that?
It didn't bother me. And I think it's because, even though this just makes it worse, I was about to say, I think it's because their dad made the movie. But like it just felt like it was a family project for them probably.
Yeah.
Like they were probably really excited and happy to do it together. I think it would bother me more if like randomly we saw a Sandler at the center of like a comedy movie and they hadn't done any other work before. I think that might be more annoying to me than like
Yeah.
this felt like how cool. Your dad is a famous comedian and he wants to make this movie and you guys all get to do it together as a family. I don't know, it just didn't bother me.
Yeah, wouldn't you?
Totally.
Like, here's my
This would
thing.
be my dream come true, actually.
Actually, your family would be really cute in a movie. Do you hear that, Sean?
Talking to you, Dad.
But you guys would be. But I think here's my thing about Nepo babies. Like, it's such a popular topic right now, and people get so angry about it. And I understand that when your parents are famous, you have a lot of opportunities given to you. I mean, just think about it. Like, they've got the money, they've got the connections, they can do the acting classes to make them not suck as bad. They've grown up in the industry, so they probably learn things. Like, I'm sure you've learned a lot about art from seeing your mom do art.
Yeah.
Even if, like, you never would, like, pursue that yourself.
Right.
You probably just, like, learn tricks of the trade and, like, just random things. And I just don't think that's a bad thing. I just think that's, like, what else are they going to do with their lives? Like, if that's what they want to do, cool. I'm not going to make them all go be lawyers or something. I think where people get, like, upset about it is when they don't recognize their privilege. And I think Nepo babies have a really hard time recognizing it. Like, a lot of times they're like, well, I worked just as hard. And it's like, you may work hard, but, like...
There's a lot that you didn't have to overcome because you started further ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's true in every industry, I think. I think pop culture and celebrities are just put on such a public platform that it's easy to point at it and scream. And I agree with you. I think a lot of the outrage is super warranted when they don't recognize it or they double down, like you said, and just defend it. But outside of that, it doesn't bother me because, like, kids of celebrities didn't ask for that.
They didn't ask to be born.
That was good. They have probably dealt with an invasion of privacy for their whole life. And unfair scrutiny, depending on the level of fame, obviously, but it feels like if that's something that they're interested in and they do get a leg up there, then cool, because they've had to deal with probably a lot more shit that other kids don't have to.
And these two girls are just cutie patooties.
They are.
I thought they did great in this movie, especially Sunny, the lead. She's talented. I like her.
Yeah, none of it was cringe to me. Like, it was not cringe acting. I thought it was actually really good acting. Yeah.
And then Sadie's performance was more subdued and she was more of a side character, but she was like the Aubrey Plaza bored older sister.
Also, great job. Felt very natural.
And actually, her best friend Zara is her best friend Zara in real life.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm imagining Adam's character just being like, hey, Zara. And that's actually just the norm.
I think that's probably just how they interact regularly.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was... No, Idina Menzel is just such a good actress. She probably just, like, folded right into the family dynamic. But, yeah, it just seemed so natural.
Oh, I have a question for you. Do you have any other favorite celebrity couples, celebrity families, Nepo babies?
Oh, good question. Oh, I actually do.
Oh.
I was like, no, nobody. And then I was like, wait. I love Cassie David.
Ooh,
Do you know
good
her?
one, yeah.
For those who don't know, that's Larry David's daughter. Whenever I tell people that I love her, people are like, what? Like, why? I don't know. She was in Umbrella Academy recently. Cassie David has a book of essays that is called No One Asked for This, which makes me laugh because nobody did. But she dated Pete Davidson for a while.
That is what I know her from.
And for a while, I don't know if people are going to, like, judge me for this, but for a little while, like, I was a big Pete Davidson fan.
I forgot about that. You told me that forever ago.
It was a phase, okay? It was a phase, Mom.
I like him.
I do too. I think he's funny, and I always like the movies that he does now. Although the show that he just started doing, not as good. But anyway, I really read Cassie David's book because I was curious about her relationship with Pete. And then I like fell in love with her because she's just such an anxious girl and I just relate so much.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my favorite Nepo baby. How about you?
I like Judd Apatow and his family. He's married to Leslie Mann, and then they have 2 daughters, Iris and Maud. Maud is the older one. She was in Euphoria, and I think she's super talented. And Iris is fun to follow on social media because she's best friends with Olivia Rodrigo. And I just love Judd and Leslie. Like, they just seem like mom and dad, and like, I don't get bad vibes from them.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Oh, something else that's fun in this movie that I really like is that Rabbi Rebecca is a woman, and the cantor, who is like the person that does all the songs, Cantor Jerry, is a man. And I think Brian said even in a lot of more progressive synagogues, that's swapped.
That's swapped?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where the cantor, if there is a woman kind of in the leadership, it's usually the cantor, like the person leading the songs.
Oh.
And then in this instance, it was swapped. So, and I thought it was so fun to see Rabbi Rebecca. I actually loved that character. I thought she was so quirky and weird and fun.
Oh, Sarah Sherman did such a good job. Sarah Sherman is from SNL.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm. I think she's like a newer cast member. And yeah, she did such a great job. I love that they had her, like, she had a treadmill in her office and she was just like really quirky and liked a bunch of bands. Like, I think she liked the Grateful Dead.
Mm-hmm.
She had like skulls on her yarmulke.
Yeah.
I think.
It was giving like cool youth pastor.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we get this like dream sequence from Stacy, who is the main girl in the movie, about her dream bat mitzvah. And there's like performers and sparkles, and it's a huge thing.
And we see that she has this crush on this boy named Andy Goldfarb. And so she's dreaming about him being at the bat mitzvah too. And then she's fantasizing that she's kissing him. We break out of the dream and she's kissing her mirror and her mom is yelling at her to get ready because they're leaving for a bar mitzvah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like this whole scene where like the family is scrambling to get ready. Like the mom can't find her earrings. None of them are ready. The mom's yelling at everyone to get ready.
Classic chaos. This like felt very familiar to me.
Well, you had such a big family.
Yeah, I have 2 sisters. And between us and my mom and my dad is always just like downstairs on the couch waiting. And then everyone else is running around upstairs. And the like lost the earring, music playing, asking about outfits was like very normal in my house. So this felt very familiar. Also, I definitely kissed a mirror. Without a doubt.
What else are you supposed to practice on?
I know.
And then I love that Adam Sandler's character has the earring on the whole time because he wanted to buy the girls some extra time. His character is so cute.
Yeah, good girl, Dad. So Stacy comes downstairs in pink heels. And her mom is like, "What are you wearing?"
And she's like, "I'm twinning with Lydia," her best friend. Her mom ends up letting her wear the heels. And she's like, "But you're going to hate them in 2 minutes." And then Stacy's all like excited and she starts prancing around in her heels. And then literally within 10 steps, she runs back to get her Converse and a pair of Converse for Lydia too.
This is me whenever I wear heels.
Same.
I just can't. My sister Hannah is very fabulous and wears heels and heel booties and like jeans and blazers on the reg. Couldn't be me. They go to this bar mitzvah. We kind of just are getting the lay of the land, like of the community they live in, of who their friends are, all that stuff.
Ronnie, the older sister, and her friend Zara, at every bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, they are watching a scary movie on their phone.
Yeah.
And then these like 2 boys will come up to them and try to talk to them like, "Have you seen this other scary movie?" And they're like, "Yes," even if they haven't. And they're like, "Go away."
Yeah, they'll be like, "Yeah, and it totally sucks." And the boys will just like look dejected and walk away.
and then Zara will be like, "Did you see that movie?" And Ronnie will be like, "No." They're just hilarious. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm. At the bar mitzvah, we meet an exchange student named Mateo.
He's so cute.
He's so cute. And he is the same actor that plays the younger brother in the new Transformers movie.
Oh.
Anyway, he's adorable, and he ends up becoming a recurring character throughout the movie. And then we get to Stacy's presentation.
Have you ever done a presentation for your parents?
Yes, for my dog.
All right, I need to know.
I just was certain that we should get a dog. My other dogs had died. I was in 6th grade. And I was doing all the research on what type of dog we should get and how much they cost and what it takes to take care of them. And I would show them options regularly for different dogs that we could adopt.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Really?
We got our Sophie.
Did they go with one that you had picked out, or were they just like considering it because you were going so hard at it?
I think both. We probably would have got a dog anyway because they're dog people. But the one we ended up adopting was one that I had picked out.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's going to make you feel good when you win one of those presentations.
Yeah. How about you?
I did, kind of. I will say the hardest campaigning I ever did for something I wanted was for a cat when I was in 7th grade.
It's always a pet.
Always a pet. I bought a cat magazine at a store. It had all of the information you needed to know about cats, and I would leave it in my mom's car so that every day on the way to school and on the way home from school, I would be reading the magazine so she would see how like dedicated I was.
Oh, this is like a full plot.
It was. And I would, talk about all the things that cats needed that I learned about from the magazine and show her cute cat pictures and talk about different breeds and stuff. And it actually did work because I don't know how long I kept up this charade. It was probably like 2 months or something. Well, I'm thinking it's 2 months. Maybe it was like 2 weeks. I don't know. Kid time is like so different than adult time.
Yeah.
Someone had found kittens in like a sewer and they needed homes. And so my mom let us adopt one.
Aww.
Yes.
Success.
It was a success. I have seen my little sister campaign for a lot of things, like dyeing her hair, getting piercings. And I will say, it always ends up working.
Mm-hmm.
It might not work for like a year or 2 years, but if you go hard at it for a long time,
you'll wear them down.
And that's what Stacy does here, in a way. She gives a presentation on what she wants her bat mitzvah to look like.
And it's so extra. There's Dua Lipa on a jet ski, or maybe it's Olivia Rodrigo. Just everything under the sun that you could possibly imagine a 13-year-old girl would want in a party, she has it.
One quote that I really like from this scene is she's like, "You're always saying how my bat mitzvah determines the rest of my life, and I just think Dua Lipa would make my life perfect."
Yeah, there's lots of like middle school logic in this, which is so funny.
Yeah. And we find out that Lydia is going to write Stacy's bat mitzvah speech, I think. I didn't know they gave speeches, but she's going to write her speech, and Stacy's going to make her entrance video in exchange. Another quote from this part is they're just like telling her no, basically, or like, who's going to pay for all of this?
Yeah, and they say, "Oh, my college fund." They like flip through the presentation to get to the part about money, since that's the concern from, I think, Idina Menzel. Anyway, they're flipping through the presentation and they like fly by all these scenes of all their ideas for her perfect bat mitzvah, and they pass a scene that has like Olivia Rodrigo and Dua Lipa and all the performers they want, and they also have somebody older. I can't remember who it was, maybe Paul McCartney. And then Lydia's like, "Oh, didn't you want to talk about that old guy for your dad?" And they end up flipping to like Stacy's college fund as the solution to how they're going to pay for this party.
So Stacy's not getting a good reception from her parents at all. And she's like, "Can I at least have a virgin mojito bar?" And her dad goes, "You can have a ball pit." And she's like, "Oh my God, Dad, that's for kids. I've had my period for 7 months now." And then Adam Sandler's character goes, "That's a long period, sweetheart."
It's cute. So the next day at school, the popular girls compliment Lydia's skirt. And this is sort of like foreshadowing for what's going to happen later when Lydia becomes a more popular girl.
And Lydia is wearing, Tory Burch or something, because her family has money. Her mom's going through a divorce with her dad and trying to spend all of his money. And the popular girls take notice.
Mm-hmm.
Later, when Stacy and Lydia get picked up by Lydia's mom, aka Adam Sandler's wife,
Jackie,
from Hebrew school, Adam Sandler's character calls Stacy and he's like, "Sweetheart, what kind of tampons do you need? Your mom said it was an emergency." And Stacy is just so embarrassed and she's just like, "I don't care, get whatever." But this is important later because he really does just get whatever.
I also got my period in 7th grade. I just can relate. It just is mortifying in the beginning. Like, it becomes so normal, and, like, my dad was a girl dad, and we had so many girls in the house, and so it was just, like, super normal to have to talk about going to the store and getting tampons. It, like, wasn't weird. But I remember in the beginning, and, like, it is weird. And so this just, like, was cringy and funny. Made me laugh. But while they're on the way home, Lydia gets a text inviting her to the popular girl's house.
Yes, and Stacy's kind of jealous at first. Lydia ends up asking if Stacy can come too.
And we kind of like start to learn that these girls have been best friends for their whole life, like from probably age 2, maybe birth. And so if Lydia's going to go, there's no way she's not going to ask if Stacy's going to go, even though Stacy was like, it's fine, you can go. Lydia's like, no, I'm going to ask if you can come. I don't care. I would rather hang out with you.
Yeah, it's cute. And then they go home and change really quick, and we find out that the dad got Stacy these giant pads. I think Ronnie says, I thought they were pillows.
And the girls meet up with the popular girls, and they end up going cliff jumping.
Yeah, there's like this ledge that they go to, and none of them jump. They're just hanging out with Andy's friends and the popular girls, and then Lydia and Stacy.
Which I need to ask, did you ever go cliff jumping in high school?
No, is that a normal thing to do?
I was watching this with my husband, Brian, and he goes, oh my God, cliff jumping, such a high school thing.
I'm sorry?
That's what I said. However, the day that he got my number in high school, when we started dating, he asked if I wanted to go cliff jumping the next day, and I said no. And we never went. But, like, his reaction to this being like, such a high school thing. I was like, is it? Or is it just you?
I'm confused. Brian, explain.
Yeah.
I will say something that I've been seeing on TikTok. You know, I love to debunk the TikTokers with the bad facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bust them.
I've been seeing that people are saying this is the same cliff in Grown Ups. And I hate to break it to everybody, but it's not. It's not the same cliff from Grown Ups. It's not the same cliff from Stranger Things.
That's what I thought.
It's completely different. This movie was filmed in Canada, and I actually like hunted down a local newspaper to find out where the rumor was that they filmed this at, because they usually film these kind of scenes at quarries. Quarries?
Yep.
At quarries. That is such a weird word. So anyway, this was in Ontario. Grown Ups was filmed in Massachusetts. And then Stranger Things was at a quarry in Georgia.
So cliff jumping ends in complete disaster. The kids are like daring each other to jump off or something, and then Stacy, in an effort to prove herself to the cool girls, who by the way has just stepped in it all afternoon and just has looked the least cool. And like she's trying so hard, goes, I'll do it. And then she does.
Lydia does not want her to do it and like tries to talk her down. But Stacy is just like resolved, like she is going to do this. She wants Andy to see how cool she is. And so she jumps. And there's this moment where everyone's just like shocked that she did it. She's just the coolest thing ever. And then what happens?
You just see her monster pillow pad covered in blood float to the top, which I just felt so sad for her because it's just so embarrassing. She just did this huge thing. And now all that's going to be remembered, you just immediately know, is this.
Mortifying.
And the girls did a really good job trying to stick up for her, actually. The cool girls.
Yeah, they were actually very nice.
Yeah, they were like, shut up, it's just a period.
Like, you couldn't even handle a period.
Yeah.
Which, true.
True.
Stacy is like really mad at Lydia because she thinks that she was laughing at her along with the other kids.
Because she kind of does. She, like, laughs along because the boys are laughing and she's standing right next to them.
Yeah.
Which I can totally understand because she's also out of place here and isn't really friends with those kids. But Stacy takes it to heart and is really upset.
And kind of ghosts her a little bit or gives her the cold shoulder. And then when she decides that it's time to make up with Lydia, she goes to her house and finds out that Lydia is throwing a party with all of the popular kids and Stacy wasn't invited.
Yeah, this is really sad. And she also then sees Stacy kissing Andy. Heartbreaking.
We have to dive into this, obviously, but there's this whole part where Stacy blows up at Lydia, tells her she is so not invited to her bat mitzvah anymore, and she's not going to do the video for her bat mitzvah. But I have to know, Did you ever have a boy come between you and a friend?
Sort of, yeah. In high school, when I was dating my ex-boyfriend, we broke up, and my friends, we also got back together a couple of times, and my friends were not about it. Like, they were actually supportive, but they, like, made it clear that they, like, weren't super happy that I was interested in getting back together with him. And then one of those friends ended up dating him secretly. And I didn't handle it well. I handled it bad. But I think she told me, one of them told me, and I was already dating my now husband. But just on principle, I was so pissed off that, like, they waited, I can't remember if it was weeks or months, kid time, I don't know. But they had, like, been seeing each other fully. And I was just like, you didn't like him when I dated him, and now you've been secretly dating him, and both of you, because, like, me and him stayed friends, and, like, we're in a lot of the same classes, and we were all in the same grade and in a similar friend group. And people knew, and I didn't know. And so then they both told me, and I was furious and told everyone that I was so mad. And I was just like, this is fucking ridiculous. Who do they think they are? Blah, 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 blah. And I remember some of my guy friends at the time, I remember where I was sitting in class and them just being like, you're being ridiculous because you have a new boyfriend and you don't need to care about this anymore because they're happy and it doesn't matter. And I was just like, how dare you? It does matter. Because it does.
It does.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends how much time has passed, but it probably hurt so badly that they didn't tell you right away.
I think it was that because that gave me, like, fuel, because I probably shouldn't have been mad anyway, and now I obviously wouldn't, but at the time, like, being in high school, knowing they had, like, gone on dates and, like, were hooking up and told me once they decided that it was serious, I was like, guys, I wish you had just told me that you guys were, like, or, like, I wish my friend had come to me and been like, hey, I'm thinking about this, like, would it hurt your feelings?
Yeah.
And I probably still would have said yes, but I wouldn't have had any legs to stand on because I had a new boyfriend to say, like, you shouldn't date him, but I at least would have known. Anyway, yeah, that was my story. What about you?
Did it ruin your friendship forever? Are you still friends?
No, we're not still friends.
Okay.
But it was kind of on the way out anyway. Like,
Okay.
we were kind of falling apart anyway, and we went to different colleges, so we weren't going to stay friends, so it was fine.
Yeah. I had the same exact situation happen as the
Really?
movie. Pretty much.
Wow.
Well,
as the movie.
Yeah, as the movie. There was this girl that I was, like, really good friends with in middle school, and I told her that I had a crush on someone, and literally not even a week later in my memory, she says that she likes him, like, all of a sudden, and she started dating him.
Oh.
Or there was, like, a moment where he, like, had to choose between us or something. I don't even remember. But I was upset. Did I have a reason to be upset? No. It was kind of like Stacy, where it was like, well, I don't even know if he likes me, but still, that's my crush. Why are you going after him?
Mm-hmm.
And then the girl turned it around on me and made me feel like I was a terrible person for being mad at her.
Oh.
Then we weren't friends anymore, and honestly, she still held it against me all throughout high school.
Love that.
Yeah, and did I handle it in a beautiful way? No, I was like 12 or 13, but still. So I can relate to Stacy in this. It's like when you're that age and you have a crush, it's like so real.
Mm-hmm. And it's vulnerable to tell somebody that, especially at that age when emotions are so high and hormones are crazy and you see these people all day, every day. And then to, like, be vulnerable and say something that, like, could get out or could be embarrassing, and then to have them turn around and basically use it against you sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, yeah.
Also, to be clear, just for the record, this boy did not like me. I will just be clear that he chose her and he dated her, and I don't know why I thought that I, like, had any say in their relationship, because I was like, maybe he likes me. He did not.
That's okay. You're allowed.
Yeah.
Big feelings.
Big feelings
You're
at that
big
age.
feelings at that age.
Don't care about this boy anymore, but man, it was really sucky that, like, I lost that friend.
Yeah. So Lydia and Stacy kind of have this big falling out. Lydia and Andy are dating, and Lydia's, like, using Stacy's jokes with her new popular friends, and it's just sad. But Stacy, like us, does not handle it appropriately.
She decides in the middle of class that she will retaliate by sending a message to this 7th grade rumors Instagram account that Lydia has long black hairs on her nipples.
What a specific rumor that does not shield you at all. Because, like, Lydia would know that that came from her.
Yeah, because who else is mad at her?
Right.
Right. And so she gets in trouble for being on her phone in class, and she goes to Rabbi Rebecca's office, and we find out that she has a mitzvah project that she hasn't started yet.
And the takeaway is, if I do a mitzvah project, God will reward me and give me what I want.
Cool.
Yeah. Rabbi Rebecca's obviously like, no, not exactly. It's not a trade. But this gives Stacy like a new push to go after Andy, basically.
Yeah. One thing that Stacy does is just when she's in like a fit of rage, she puts a ton of embarrassing videos into Lydia's bat mitzvah entrance video. And they're horrible videos that you would not want anyone to see. She doesn't send them because then she goes back and watches the good parts of the video and she remembers how much she loves her friend. She just saves it, shuts her computer.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when people tell you to like write a letter and not send it to just like get your frustration out. It felt like that to me.
Yeah,
like she was making it with no intention of anyone ever seeing it, and it just helped her kind of get through some of the difficult emotions.
Yes, which is why I have never done one of those letters to someone that I will never send, because I'm terrified that they will still get it.
Yep, same. So for Stacy's mitzvah project, she decides to volunteer at a retirement home, which just so happens, not coincidentally, to be Andy's grandma's retirement home. So she can use it as an excuse to get to know him.
And she is so mean to the residents of the retirement home.
Yeah.
In her efforts to like hone in on Andy and like only flirt with him.
We just keep getting these really sad moments of seeing Lydia with her new popular friends, and Stacy and her dad run into them at the movie theater, and Stacy's dad is wearing like a robe in his pajamas.
He's so cute.
Yeah. But you can tell Stacy just feels so embarrassed and yeah, it's just sad to like see them fall apart.
And then she does this like ridiculous photo shoot with her remaining friends where she's like trying to look older than she is. She's wearing a lot of makeup.
She's wearing like a push-up bra and a dress, but like you can see the bra straps coming out of the dress, and she's like has red lipstick on, and you can tell she's like trying to be sexy in a 13-year-old way, you know? It's very cute.
It's goofy, but like I feel like so many girls do that when they're younger.
For sure.
You're always trying to look older.
And then she sends the photos to Andy, quote unquote, on accident. And how she gets away with this, I have no idea.
Well, he's like a 13-year-old boy, and she's like, oh, oops, I think I accidentally sent you some other pictures. Like, ignore those.
Yeah.
And then he's into the pictures.
Takes the bait.
And she also sabotages his relationship with Lydia a little bit by talking bad about Lydia, talking about how she's a bad kisser because she's never kissed before, even though she's told Andy that she has. It's a whole thing. There's this cute scene where she's trying on dresses with her mom for her bat mitzvah. And this is like, I just remember dress shopping with my mom and like having the conflicting tastes.
Yeah, me too.
Stacy wants this hot pink short dress, and her mom wants her to get this more like conservative, budget-friendly dress, and Stacy's just pissed.
She wants the cutie dress.
But she doesn't get it.
Mom wins. She gets the navy, and as they're kind of walking out of the department store, they run into Lydia and Lydia's mom. And this is probably relatable for everybody, but you can tell the parents don't know what's going on between the girls. So you're like, oh, I haven't seen Lydia around as much. You can tell like the moms are excited to catch up, but neither one knows what's going on with their daughters.
And we find out that Andy and Lydia broke up. And Lydia knows this is because of Stacy.
Cut to Stacy and Andy kissing in the temple, which Brian, watching this, just about had a heart attack.
Did he really?
Yeah. So what happens is the kids are all in their like regular Sunday school class, and there is this like tension between her and Andy, you can tell, and Stacy gets up to go to the bathroom, and Andy gets up and follows her, and then he meets her in the hallway and is like, oh, come over here, and then takes her somewhere where they can be alone, and they end up going through like the synagogue area where they hold service, up to the cabinet where they keep the Torah, which I'm not Jewish, nor am I religious really at all. And so the significance of this is lost on me. But Brian is sitting next to me going, oh my God, not there, not where they keep the Torah.
Well, that makes sense why everyone reacted the way that they did then.
Yeah, absolutely. Rabbi Rebecca finds them. It's bad news.
It's bad news. She's angry. Everyone's angry. Stacy's like, please don't tell my dad. He'll throw Andy in a wood chipper.
Yeah.
And we've seen like Stacy's dad be so chill, very Adam Sandler this entire time.
Goofy dad.
Goofy dad wearing a robe to the movies. And this is just what sets him off. And he lights into her. It's the funniest fight, actually. Also, Rabbi Rebecca tells Stacy that she knows that she only volunteered at the retirement home in order to flirt with Andy. So that's a new problem. She needs a new mitzvah project.
She basically says, with the track you're on right now, you're not going to get bat mitzvahed. And as much as Stacy cares about all of this drama, that matters a lot to her.
Yeah. So while Stacy and her dad are having this horrible and hilarious fight upstairs, Lydia's mom comes over because she was in the neighborhood, and she's like, hey, I know that Stacy was working on Lydia's bat mitzvah entrance video. She hasn't sent it yet, so I was wondering if I could have it.
Wah, wah. And of course, Stacy's mom is just like, oh, sure. Because, like, again, they don't know what's going on with the girls. They don't know that Stacy either wouldn't have made the video, and they definitely don't know that she has made this horribly embarrassing video. And so Stacy's mom just pulls it up, sends it right over from Stacy's computer, and it's done.
I feel like I would watch it first before I sent it to make sure it was like the final version and that it was finished.
Or ask Stacy even to be like, hey, just making sure this is done.
I think Stacy mentioned it was done and she just believed her, and she was just like, I'm busy. I'm just going to send this so that Lydia's mom stops asking me about it.
Yeah. So then we get to Lydia's bat mitzvah. Stacy goes with her parents, and I think the parents like have a good idea that there's something going on, and they just like encourage her to come and squash it and it'll be fine. And that's kind of true.
Yeah, the girls kind of start making up a little bit. They're getting along, they're friendly.
And then DJ Shmuley comes on, which is like the DJ that everybody hires for their bar bat mitzvah, I guess.
What a truly unlikable character, by the way.
Hated him.
He's just terrible, but I love how the parents are like, what is it with this guy? Like, why do all the kids love him?
Yeah, he's such a douche.
I feel like that's so accurate to real life.
Yeah. And the DJ starts playing Lydia's entrance video, which is the video Stacy made. Stacy has no idea until this point that the video has been sent. So she's watching it just at first in deep confusion, and then it clicks with her. Oh no, I know what's about to start coming on screen.
And nobody stops this.
Which is shocking to me.
The DJ is kind of the worst, so he thinks it's funny and he thinks that like it's getting a big reaction from people, so it makes sense that he's not stopping it. But no parent is like, whoa, 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 hey,
pull the plug.
Turn this off. There's boogers on Lydia's face. That should be the moment when you're like, this is not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And Stacy's trying to stop it, but DJ Shmuley won't listen to her. Rabbi Rebecca does the sign of the cross, which is so funny.
And yeah, it just goes down in this like horrific fashion, because at the end of the video, the spotlight pans over to Lydia, and she's supposed to be so excited coming in, but her most embarrassing moments ever have just been played on screen in front of all of her friends and family at this huge, super nice, fancy party. And it's just so sad.
Yeah.
For everybody.
So all of her friends are mad at her. They won't talk to her anymore.
Andy leaves her.
Yeah, Andy's with the popular girl now, Kim.
And it's just about time for Stacy's bat mitzvah. And Stacy is just so upset. She's so mad at herself. She's trying to apologize to Lydia. Lydia's not having it. And she doesn't want to do her own bat mitzvah.
She literally has to be carried out of the house to go.
Literally kicking and screaming.
Yes. Adam Sandler just throws her over his shoulder.
Drags her to the synagogue. And she does begrudgingly get up there. And she sees that Lydia isn't there, and there's a seat saved for Lydia and Lydia's mom right at the front. And this makes her really mad, but she has this realization and gives a little speech.
She apologizes for everything. I was like, this is going the right way. And then she kind of starts telling Andy off.
Mhm.
She also apologizes to the mean girls, but then says, but you guys are kind of a-holes anyway. It's like not a true apology. It didn't feel as powerful as it could have been if she did like the Katie Heron and Mean Girls and like truly just took responsibility and apologized. Yes, other people were terrible too. She's kind of like, yeah, I'm sorry about all of these things. I'm having all of these realizations, and also these people suck.
Yeah.
And like maybe they deserved that, but still it like didn't hit the same way I think it could have with me that her character grew.
That's a really good point, because you get the sense in that moment that she just wants to go back to how things were before, where they hated the popular girls together and they were only friends with each other, as opposed to having grown, forgiven them all, everyone is friends now. You're right. And so then she finishes her reading and runs out of the synagogue all the way to Lydia's house.
She apologizes to her. She begs her to come to the party.
And then she goes home to get ready for her own party, where her mom surprises her with the pink dress she wanted.
So cute.
Which is so cute.
And it's the same dress that she's wearing in the dream sequence, I think.
I was so surprised when Lydia showed up.
I didn't think she was going to, because she really was standing her ground. She was like, you ruined my bat mitzvah.
Yeah. Why would I come support you at yours if you ruined mine?
Yeah.
Totally. But she does. She shows up begrudgingly. She says hello.
She finds out that Stacy's bat mitzvah has been changed to her bat mitzvah to make up for the fact that hers was ruined. So Lydia's name is everywhere instead of Stacy's, and it's Lydia's party.
Yeah, it's really cool. They open the doors. There's like big Lydia sign. And Lydia just looks at her and is like, you gave up your bat mitzvah for me? But like, it was your dream. And then Stacy's like, it was our dream. And it was really a sweet moment. I loved it.
So cute. It was not what I was expecting. And Lydia's dad is like, am I paying for this? And Adam Sandler is like, no, don't worry, we got it covered. But I thought it was interesting that they let her do this too after spending so much money on it.
Agreed.
But then with the way that they were feeling about bat mitzvahs earlier and how they were like, it's just a time to like be with your family and celebrate coming of age. And it doesn't have to be this big, crazy party. It kind of makes sense that they were like, we're going to support our daughter's idea to do this.
She wants to make it right and is asking for our support to do that.
And it ends up being kind of a joint party anyway.
Totally. Yeah, they end up both like dancing down the little aisle. It was really, really cute.
Yeah, so they make up. They are best friends again. I love this part. Ronnie and Zara are watching another scary movie on their phones during the bat mitzvah, and the boys are watching the scary movie with them. They've finally accepted them.
Yeah, it was really cute. Stacy dances with Mateo, the adorable exchange student, which, by the way, has been nice to her for the whole movie, just in these little moments we haven't mentioned.
He's so sweet. He's not Jewish, but he just participates in everything. And then her mitzvah project ends up being a bake sale for charity. And that's how the movie ends.
It was a really sweet ending. I felt so satisfied by it. I'm so happy everyone ended up happy and friends again. It was just really cute.
Yeah, agree. Just left me with warm fuzzies, which is all I want in a movie right now. Really quickly, I wanted to talk about the score of the movie because I thought it was really interesting. You talked about earlier how Stacy had a Haim poster in her room, and Este Haim actually did the score of the movie, along with Amanda Yamate. I don't know if that's how you say it. And they also did the score for Do Revenge together. I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Este also scored the show, I think it's a show, Made.
Yeah.
And also Cha Cha Real Smooth, which is a pretty recent movie with, what's her name, Dakota Johnson in it. And it's about bar and bat mitzvahs.
Cool.
So I thought it was cute that she wanted to do this movie too.
That is cute. That's cool that she scored Made, because Made stars Margaret Qualley, who just married Jack Antonoff like last week, aka Taylor Swift's producer. Gotta find a way to bring her up in every episode, you know. And Este Haim, obviously of the Haim sisters, they're all like best friends with Taylor Swift. So I wonder if that was somehow connected that way by all of them being friends.
Interesting. Yeah, and I was going to bring up Taylor Swift anyway. You read my mind.
Wow.
Perfect segue, because I love that Haim did No Body, No Crime with Taylor Swift. And in that song, there's a character named Este who is named after Este Haim.
Yeah.
Full circle moment.
Yeah.
I don't know how popular this movie is, but I have heard that on Rotten Tomatoes, it's gotten amazing reviews.
I think I saw something that said this is Adam Sandler's best reviewed movie, like highest scored movie.
I saw that too, and I was like, is that because not enough people have seen it yet?
Could be.
Like only the super fans have reviewed it?
Could be, yeah.
I did look at some of the reviews just to like see what people were saying, and there were a lot of negative ones and people saying, oh, this movie sucks, hated it. And the theme that I was noticing with the reviews is that they were Adam Sandler fans who were looking for like an Adam Sandler type of movie. He was not in a lot of this movie, and this was not his typical movie. This was his daughter's.
Yep, this was like a coming of age movie. It was not a goofy comedy.
It's for middle schoolers and people like us who love coming of age cutesy movies.
For sure. So if you like those movies and you haven't seen it, go watch it. You'll really like it.
Yeah, after we spoiled the whole thing for you. Go watch it anyway.
It's okay.
It's just cute.
And if you do, we would love to know what you thought of it.
Yeah, let us know.
And we hope you guys enjoyed this bonus episode of what we're watching. And we'll be back on Wednesday.
Thanks for listening. Bye.